So last episode, guys, we introduced you to the Osceola County Animal Services project. Now, since this project has so many different elements, we have the monument sign, we've got the LED panels, and we've got that giant 45-foot screen wall. We're gonna be taking this install in stages. First up is the monument sign that sits along Old Canoe Creek Road in front of the Osceola County Animal Services building in St. Cloud, Florida. Because we're working with the county on this project, they framed up and poured the cement base on site. Now we come in and add the double-sided monument sign highlighting the new logo, featuring the silhouettes of various animals, including a dog, a cat, a rabbit, and a horse. Our sign should sit right down over top of the cement base and fit around it like a glove. Once that part of the install is complete, we then need to install the LED boards to each side of the monument sign. All right, guys, here we are with the next LED stacks display boards we're getting ready to put out on the Osceola project. Robert, tell me about these boards here. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got them almost all the way done, just down to the last two pieces. They really go together great. They're really easy, really quick to put together.
Yeah, and if you guys have been watching the episodes, you know a couple years ago we were out in the show in Atlanta and we met with the Next LED guys and walked over their product with them, and we've been using it ever since. And it's really cool because you're not waiting to get this board manufactured. You're buying components. We buy these panels in 1 foot by 2 foot panels, put the frame together, put the panels in. So it's a lot faster turnaround than waiting for a company to manufacture the boards, right?
Yeah, yeah. Any size that's divisible by 1 or 2, you can make, because it's just frame add-on sections for the base of it. And
that's kind of cool too, because a lot of the other boards over the years we've looked at, we want a 4x8 board, let's say. That thing would come in at like 4 foot 3 inches by 7 foot 11 inches, something like that. It was a weird denomination. It wasn't an equal type of thing. So now these 1x2s are a 3x8. It's a 3x8. There's no frame. It's frameless. So you get the full image on the boards, which really makes it a lot easier to design and build a pylon sign that has an exact 3x8 sign in it, right? Yep. Yeah, but tell me about how you put these things together real quick.
So they're real simple with the connections on the back. They're color-coded.
Look at that, just fits right in there.
They're impossible to...
You get the little Allen wrench.
Yeah.
Slides down in there, it twists in that, it turns a little clip on the back of it.
Yeah, it's got like a little T-clip on the back.
And it locks it right into this frame.
Yep.
Just like that, panels in, move to the next one.
Yep.
How about wiring it?
The wiring is pre-done. Like I said, it's color-coded for in and out. Little spring-loaded clips.
Yep.
Auto-locking. Got to make sure you line up. It's male and female pins inside, so they got to line up.
And that's it, and it automatically clips.
Yep.
Boom, boom. Man, look.
And that's the last one. This is the last one in the chain. They're wired in series, so you start bottom right corner.
Right.
You just follow the. They have a schematic for the different sizes.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Now, how long did it take you to put this whole thing together here? Both these boards.
Probably an hour.
An hour.
An hour, including the frame.
Super nice.
I bet you if you did them every day, you'd get the time down even faster than that.
Sure. Yeah, love it. Can we fire them up? Is that it?
Yeah.
You want to see them? Here we go. All right. So all wired up. Control panels over here. Oh, nice. Yeah, they look good.
If you put one in, when you first fire it off, if you put one in accidentally upside down, immediately, because that logo is jacked.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're installing these things tomorrow. You're going to see how easy it's going to go. And if you're interested in the Next LED stacks display boards, man, definitely check out the information below. You're going to love them. It would probably make for better content for our YouTube channel if the Next LED stacks display boards were incredibly complex and difficult to install. Well, I could lie, but they're not. The hardest part of the install is literally drilling into the concrete and screwing in the two brackets that hold up the LED display boards on the top and the bottom. Once those two brackets are screwed into the cement base, you simply hang the display boards on the top bracket and bolt it into place on the top and bottom. After both sets of display boards are hung, the electrical hookup to the stacked display board control panel is super easy and user-friendly. Now that the monument sign is done, the real fun begins. We have to install the massive 45-foot perforated metal wall sign for the front of the St. Cloud facility. To make sure the install goes as smooth as possible, we need to lay out and assemble the sign on the floor of the shop. This way, we can make sure everything lines up. The steel support frame, the 9 McNichols perforated metal panels, the 3 aluminum triangles, and the massive cat, dog, and horse. Once we're done with the mock assembly, we paint all the pieces and then it's off to the install. But as good as we are, we did learn a valuable lesson on this job. When we were digging the 5.5-foot deep holes that the steel supports would be cemented in for the huge wall sign, we encountered a huge tree stump that we didn't know was there. Well, that started a chain of events that ended up with a broken water line and severed electrical cable. I can guarantee you we will never make that mistake again without using ground penetrating radar to find out what's under that ground before we dig the footers. But after that nightmare was over, we were finally ready to start the install. The massive 45-foot steel frame went together like an erector set, just like Robert had predicted. Next up, the pre-numbered McNichols perforated metal panels were attached to the steel beams in their predetermined position, just as they had been during the mock assembly on the floor back at the shop a few days earlier. All 9 panels bolted onto the steel frame exactly as they had been designed. The giant triangle sections that complemented the animal silhouettes were next. The triangles will help elevate and frame the dog, the cat, and the horse. Once the triangles were up, the animal silhouettes were installed next. Each animal required spacers as well as all thread to hold them in place. And due to the sheer weight and large size of each animal, lining up the all-thread bolts to the pre-drilled holes was an awkward challenge. But none of the animal heads were as challenging as the massive horse head. It required 4 installers to transfer from the trailer to the steel mesh wall.
3, 2, 1, up!
Maneuvering the horse into place for the attachment to the steel frame was really difficult because they had to make sure not to drop or damage the horse head or the screen wall. 3 were needed to lift it into place and hold it steady, while the 4th guided the all-thread into the holes. Finally, the wall was done. Well, I think Osceola County Animal Services achieved their goal because that screen wall looks amazing and the curb appeal is through the roof. You know what's really cool about doing these YouTube episodes is that we get film on our installs. So we actually get to look at them like game film from a football game. We can see our guys working, what they got done, what they need improvement on, or what we can do better to make it an easier job for them. And when I look closer at this install, I can see these guys work their asses off. That install was not easy. It was 95 degrees every day, no shade at all, and all of those pieces were heavy and unruly. And on a job like that, everyone has to work like a team or it's not going to get done. And it definitely will not turn out as well as this one turned out. Man, guys, you did a great job on this project. Remember, if you guys are liking the episodes, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really makes a big difference for us. Thank you for checking out the Media One Wrap This YouTube channel.